Hi everyone, part 2 of the sustain bug video for the Roland MC505. This time I want to talk about the loop rest function, but also before I forget to talk about it, something that also has to do with the workaround for this sustain bug. I want to talk about how to copy parts and how to copy, especially how to copy different part number parts. So maybe I should clear out. In the last video, it really makes sense to watch the first part first, by the way. So if you haven't watched the other video on the sustain bug, please do so now before watching this video, because I think it could answer a lot of questions that would otherwise come up for you in this video here. So to get that out of the way, you might want to watch part 1 first. Okay, but now I want to show you how to copy a part. And I want to write a little more. I want to extend the pattern a little bit. So I also want to bring in this rhythm part that I had muted. I want to unmute and then save this setting in pattern number 28 now, and then do the same for pattern 29, which uses two different parts here. And maybe I think I even want to clear out part 2 to show you how to copy part 1 from pattern 28 to part 2 in pattern 29, because this is what you might want to do when you're in a similar situation. So here I'm also demonstrating how to delete something. We want to delete part 2 in this case, and then later on copy to this part again, so that we end up with the same result. But just to let you know how this works, in the pattern song page, or in pattern song mode on the MC505, please press edit and then pad number 3, which says delete. And then by default all the parts will be selected. You take out all the different parts except for the one that you want to delete. It's only, oh, and now I did a mistake. The machine is asking you from which measure these numbers in the display, they represent the measures in the pattern. I want to delete from measure 1 for all the measures. So to go to the next assignment, you have to use the arrow key, page right arrow key in the page field here, and then I want to tell the machine to delete this part from the first measure for all measures, 4 measures in the pattern, for all of them. Pressing the page right arrow key again, the machine is asking me, are you sure? I confirm by pressing enter, and then this part is taken out. I immediately get to the temporary screen here, and I want to write this result to user pattern 29. So I select it here, and yeah, okay. So are you sure? Yes, again I have to confirm. And yeah, the MC505 is an old machine. I think it was released in 1998, so it always takes a little while for these processing things to finish. But okay, so now I have only the rhythm part written, and I want to copy. Now I want to go back to pattern 28 and copy part 1 over to part 2 in pattern 29. So I do so by, again, in the pattern song mode, pressing edit and pad number 1, which is for copy. I take out all the different parts that I do not wish to copy. I want to copy from measure 1, right arrow key, moving over to the next assignment for all the measures. not just 1, 2, 3, all measures. And now I want to copy 2, where temporary, yeah, this will always be the temporary slot, but in this case I want also the rhythm part to be in the temporary pattern. So I select user pattern. I have to press in the bank field here, I have to press user pattern 29, and then it will give me a combination with the rhythm in which is already written in user pattern 29 and now I have to select part 2 for this, so that part 1 of pattern 28 gets transferred over to part 2 in pattern 29 along with the rhythm. So now I want to start copying 2, measure 1. I want to copy all of this, not just the notes, not just program change information, not just controller information or all the other stuff that you can select here. I want all the MIDI data to be copied. And then replace. Yes, I wish to replace. I don't wish to mix this with some other type of information that I might already have on part 2. So replace is correct here. Right arrow key again. How many times do I wish to copy? 4. I want to just copy this once. Are you sure? Yes. Pressing enter, and then I should be okay. So now I get to the temporary screen again, and I need to write this over to user pattern 29, and then I am finally done with all this copying stuff, and I get to exactly the same result that I had before, but now I wanted to show you how to copy individual parts to some other part numbers in other patterns. So I have just done so. Yeah, and now I want to talk about the part of this sustain bug that has to deal with individual parts, because these notes cut out not only when switching to another pattern. It could also be the case that you wish to program something in where a note is extended over the loop point and then it doesn't do so. The note gets cut off when reaching the end of the pattern and you don't have the note sustained over the loop point of the pattern. I want to go back to pattern 28 to demonstrate this. Now I won't select part 2 because that's occupied already to make this a smooth transition change. As I have already explained in part 1 of these videos, I now want to record a bass, something like this, for there's something I forgot to mention, because now back to the copying stuff. Now I have copied all the MIDI information. I still need the patch. I need to reassign the patch for part 2 in pattern 29, and the patch I was using in pattern 28 part 1 was this. It is a preset patch in bank B number 18, rise pad. Now when I switch back to pattern 29, I will probably get the very first patch again, this awful TB sound. Oh no, wait, I have the right sound in part 1, but now in part 2. Okay, well, it did this automatically. In many cases it doesn't do this, but I had it pre-selected. I didn't clear that out. So in many cases I have to reassign the right patch for this part now. It will, in many cases, this will go back to the default, which is always patch number 1. And but in this case, I can just keep it like it was. Rise pad, preset patch, bank B number 18. Okay, so that's all. That's all okay. All right, so I want to program a bass line now, and I want to program it in a way so that I have a note at the end of the pattern and it is cut off. I intentionally want to make this mistake well, mistake. It should not even be a problem, but it is in the 505. So yeah, that's what we have to call it, I guess. So all right. So this is no, I don't want. I'm going to select part 3 here, and I want the 101 bass. Yes, okay. So I want to listen to the pattern again, and just to find the right note for the bass. And now I think I need to think of a bass line that really has this a note which will be cut off. So but okay, this is the note number that I must use. Oh, I have such a long release time programmed for the drums here. That's why this cymbal plays out so long. Okay, but again, listening to the like this. When the note is played at the end of a bar and then extended over the loop point. Something like this. Okay. Alright. I think I'm going to no, I'm going to do this real time. I'm going to make another video talking about the step edit sequencing stuff a little more detailed. I just touched on this subject in one of my other videos, but I want to do a more in-depth video on this too. So for now, I just want to make this a real-time recording just because it saves a bit of time. Very last note, only the very last note. This is 4 bars. It's quite long actually to listen through all this, but the very last note will be cut off, and you're going to hear this when I play this back. By the way, when holding down measure, you can read the current state of the sequence. And now I have to shut up because now you just heard the note cutting off there. The level of these other parts so that you can hear the problem. It just gave me this, just the attack and then the note cut off, even though the pattern is playing in a loop by itself. So you get notes that are cut off even if you don't even change to another pattern. But this and this can also be fixed, but it is a rather bad compromise. I'm going to show you how this works now, because you can record slider information, and in this case, if I pick the release time here and raise the level up, then I can extend the note over the loop point, then raise the level down again. And when I record this, it will sound like I'm playing a note that's held, even though I'm really not. Yeah, and this is, I guess, this is the workaround you have to use for this. If anyone knows something else that also works, please let me know in the comments. I'd be very interested to find out. Okay, so switching on the metronome now, and now loop rest on will give me an additional measure at the end of the 4 bars, and then I can take this measure out again and have this slider information sort of transferred over to measure 1. Yeah, I know it sounds weird, but it really is. So let's see how it goes. Oh, and I'm pretty sure this did not work out because I was also very insecure here messing with this slider. Oh, I don't know if this... Let's listen back. Let's see what we got. Oh yeah, and now I left it in this position, so... Yeah, okay, and yeah, no change whatsoever. I think I'm going to do the undo command here. Are you sure? Yes, I am sure. And now I want to try this again. But again, I need to have loop rest. Okay, it is already switched on. By the way, if you're wondering how to get there, just after pressing record, use the page arrow keys to dial in these different settings here, and then when you're on the loop rest page, just simply switch this to on. Okay, my quantized resolution is still on 16th. Okay, metronome. Okay, and now I'm going to try this again. Sounded bad. This sounded really bad. Okay, well, I don't know. Maybe it did the trick, maybe it didn't. I'm going to take loop rest off now, and now listen back. I'm going to go to rehearsal mode now because I don't want to record anything. Okay, so yeah, the note was extended. Only problem is we didn't get the slider down information. Maybe we can record this just on top of this so that, yeah, I think we can, and we don't even need loop rest for this if, well, the way I think it works. Let's see if it really does, because, okay, we had it all the way up, and then we must now sort of imagine that last note that's played at the end of the bar before we then take the slider down again. But we have to, this really takes a bit of timing now, because we need to find the right moment to take the slider down and then immediately press stop again. Okay, I hope I can demonstrate this okay. Again, with the metronome, this would help. Oh no, why did I raise it back up again? I raised the level back up again, which totally doesn't make any sense. Okay, again, we are going to make an undo. Okay, and now I'm, oh, well, yeah, this is kind of crazy. Like that. Let's see how this turned out. Now, sounds all right. Sounds all right. Now, okay. All right. That's it. That's how loop rest works. But again, please take this information and combine it with what I'm saying in part 1, because it is really crucial to understand the whole topic we are dealing with here. Thanks a lot for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.